Why does this feel so vulnerable? Okay, go again. Hi, my name is Matthew. I'm a dietitian and small business owner, and today I'm going to talk about my origin story. For those who don't know me, I run the website Cress Dietetics, and I am a big old fermentation nerd that fell into this art of nutrition and fermentation through my own personal healing journey and discovering the power of food, and that's what this video is going to be about. So let me paint a picture. I'm 24 years old. I just moved to Lyon, France. I'm not going to be overly dramatic. I wasn't even like that sick, but I struggled with allergies for my entire life, and I thought, this is just the hand I've been dealt. And I struggled with acne that was resistant to medication for I was working on 10 years. And I just had just acne, and it was like teenager acne, but 10 full years. Why? Why is this hard to do? Honestly, it wasn't even that dramatic. I was just kind of sick, just a little bit all the time. But after moving to France and being away from my home, it just fell apart. I can remember it as if it were yesterday, and I call my mom and I am just on the edge of tears. I am just frustrated. I was in nutrition school. Along with being homesick, my skin got to be really bad, and I was feeling ugly and feeling like a foreigner at the same time. And my allergies, I just had this permanent runny nose. People don't know this, but I'm actually a national champion gymnast. So I'm really good at gymnastics. And that was kind of my quote unquote redeeming quality, was despite being sick and having this face full of acne, I was a good athlete. I'm supposed to be doing everything right. I'm eating like they're telling me to eat, and yet my skin is worse, my allergies are acting up, and my gymnastics is getting worse. And so eventually after trying to follow the nutrition advice that I was being taught in school, and I called my mom, and I fell apart when she picked up. And I was just like, I want to come home. This is so hard. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but everything is just falling apart, and feeling powerlessness. I remember my mom telling me, Matthew, you're fine. You've not done anything wrong. You've been out there doing it up in an entirely different country, and you're tired. That's okay. You're in nutrition school, and what they're teaching you maybe isn't for you. And that's okay. How about you finish your school year and you pick up your sports nutrition habits? And my mom, she was a fantastic athlete. She did bodybuilding, she did swimming, she was it. She was it, man. Love her. During that point in time, I was eating a lot of carbohydrate, less protein, and she said, have less carbs. From what you've told me, you're eating more carbs and you're eating less protein, and maybe that works for other people, but it looks like for you it's not working. So how about go back to what you know works and go to the end of your school year, get your little degree, and then if you want to come home, you can come home. And if you figure it out, you figure it out, but you're all good, man. You can do this. And she just knew what to say. And so after the phone call, I was able to get back to my baseline where I still was having acne and my allergies were still bad, but I was feeling better and gymnastics was coming back to me. And I was feeling like I had regained some of my power, and I wasn't feeling so helpless. I went to my nutrition internship that was at the sports center that had an in-house doctor who had medical nutrition training, but she was a little bit alternative, let's say. And she introduced me to ketogenic dieting and to fasting. This was way before intermittent fasting was popular. So there wasn't a whole lot of literature out there that was available for me. Intermittent fasting was the nutrition protocol that opened my eyes to the power of nutrition, because for the first time in 10 years, I had a face with zero acne. If I can do this, what also can I do? And I remember I experimented for years trying to figure out how to fix my allergies. And my allergies eventually resolved with a modified form of like the carnivore diet, but that's also another story for another day. It's just food. They're all just tools, and how you manipulate your macronutrient division, what you're prioritizing will help your body create a certain side effect. And that side effect is improved allergies or is improved neuropathy or, whatever. They're all just tools. And so what my philosophy that I've ended up with is eat as if you live on a farm. And that reinforces seasonality, local foods, minimal processing, and closeness with your food. Because when you live on a farm, you also have access to community. You would go to your local bakery and you'd be able to get a loaf of bread and have it not cause a digestive explosion. You would also be able to get like nourishing meats, carrots that grow in the ground, potatoes that grow in the ground, a farmer that has cultivated something, and you would be able to establish this diet and this way of eating where you are emotionally close with the food that you're consuming. So what do I mean when I say minimal processing? I'm meaning no ingredients that were made in a factory that your great grandmother wouldn't recognize. There's a really big difference between eating a loaf of bread that was made with love by a baker, or even an apple pie that was made in your local bakery by someone who is using whole food ingredients, compared to something in the store that's wrapped in plastic and has thickeners, artificial sweeteners, emulsifiers, preservatives, and fill in the blank. I'm not saying that all of them are bad, but when I put something in my mouth, if my body can say, oh, I know what that is, I know what to do with it, I set my body up for success to properly digest the food I'm eating. When I put something in my mouth and the body can't recognize it, I imagine it saying, I don't know what to do. Maybe we put it to the side, or maybe it gets treated as, maybe we put it to the side and it gets stored in, your fat cells, or maybe in the best case scenario, your body says this is a toxin and it ramps up a toxicity, inflammatory immune response to it. And I don't want my body to be having an immune response to my foods that I love and that I'm wanting to put in my body. So where does fermentation fit into all of this? Because I am the fermentation guy. I'm not gonna lie, fermentation, it didn't save my life, but it did have just the most gentle, net positive, consistently nice benefit in my life. And it was something that I enjoyed. So it was a nice hobby for me to have, and it was a way for me to get close to my food. And I discovered fermentation through the Weston A. Price Foundation and through Sandor Katz. And I have both books, now that I look at it, sitting right next to each other with Julia Child right here. And this is The Art of Fermentation by Sandor Katz. And the book next to it is The Nourishing Traditions by Sally Fallon Morell. And they talked about the power of sauerkraut and then yogurt and then what is fermented food. And it just piqued my interest. I got started. I made my first batch of yogurts. I felt so empowered. It was wonderful. I made my first batch of sauerkraut. I was so afraid to eat something that had been sitting out for days. I was I was afraid, and I did it, and I'm alive, of course. But then afterwards, the main ferment I truly enjoyed the most in the beginning was milk kefir. Which fermented food made the most beneficial impact on my life? It would be milk kefir, but I don't want to be dogmatic about it. Fermentation is nice, and the best ferment for you to have is the one that it's easiest for you to have on a regular basis. If that's sauerkraut, great. If that's yogurt, great. If that's pickles, great. If it's a cheese that you've made, great. People say that there needs to be this like one perfect ferment that does it. No, the best ferment is the one that you enjoy and that you can have on a regular basis. Yogurt, just regular French yogurt, it's just so good. Regular French yogurts, pickles. I am the pickle guy. And to prove I'm the pickle guy, are you ready? Here's a picture of me. I am 3.5 and I got a jar of pickles for Christmas. Oh! I am the pickle guy. That is my thing. So yogurt, pickles, and milk kefir, and then either sauerkraut or lacto-fermented carrots. Those are like my general ones that I go between the most often, with just regular French yogurt being my most enjoyed daily one. Yes, milk kefir had the best benefit for me, but the easiest one for me to have on a daily basis, the one that I enjoyed the most, is just regular French yogurt. So that's where I landed on. What does all this make me? I'm a dietitian. I'm a small business owner. I love food, and I'm a big ol' nerd. I like going to the farmer's market, and I like making a fun little YouTube video here and there. So that is my approach to food. That is my origin story. And if you're confused about food, or if you want help and you like my approach, you can find me at cressdietetics.com. Or just click and subscribe. And I'm here, I'll be making videos, and this is just my little corner of the world where I get to talk about food and share my enthusiasm for what it is to be in the nutrition profession. So I want to thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.